Hello, Leo. Welcome to the month of May and your month of May horoscope. Um, Today we're going to be diving in and seeing what the month holds for you. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Jay. If you've been here before, welcome back. And I love talking about astrology, tarot, and helping people with their businesses. So if that's anything that interests you, definitely the astrology tarot is a bit more general, but the business stuff I do add in there as well. So it's you get everything that you need there. Let's jump into it. If you want to book a private reading as well, you want to be a little bit deeper in any of these aspects or deeper into anything in your chart, then come and book a private reading with me. I'll leave the links down in the description. But let's get into it. We've got this month to talk about. So we're starting off the month with Venus in Aries, co-joining Neptune. Now, we're going to feel this before the month even starts. You were probably, time you see this video, will have started already. So the Venus in Aries joining Neptune. Venus is all about the things you desire, the things you want, the relationships in your life, the love in your life. This is your love language. And it's conjoining Neptune, which is like the higher octave of Venus, who makes things dreamier, who makes things more romanticized, idealized. It can create a little bit of confusion and deception, likes to dissolve boundaries. But I like this aspect. I like it because I think it's just like, we're not going after these little things, we're going after the big things. Yeah? Aries is bold, passionate, fiery, go first, pioneer. They want to go after the big, lofty goals when I see Neptune and Venus getting together here. And I think you should. One thing, the deception side of Neptune might be, well, we'll just go for this because we know we can have this. Yeah? You don't want to do that. You want to say, no, I want to go after this. And this is falling into your ninth house. This is like your spiritual beliefs, your higher education, travel, long distance travel, religious beliefs, cultural beliefs, growth through expansion. This is like taking you, the things that you desire, like, is getting you closer because you're doing the work to learn the information that you need to get you to there. Maybe you need to shift your perspectives a little bit, but using that, all these new beliefs that you can, to help you embody the role of the person that you want to become, Leo. I think that I like this transit for you. Yeah, I think it could bring you a lot of good things here. On May the 4th, then Pluto is going to go retrograde in Aquarius, which we're using your 7th house of relationships. This is going to hit one of your angles. You might feel this a little bit more than others. Yeah? You might feel it a little bit more. However, saying that, it is at the very, very early degrees. If this is hitting any of your natal planets, or if it hits any of the transits that are activating a natal planet or an angle in your chart, you might feel this a little bit more. Otherwise, I would just say do the shadow work, do the inner work, make sure that you're doing the work for the healing. Yeah, you want to make sure you're healing everything around relationships around this time. The thing is, when Pluto is in your 7th house and it wants you to break down all the structure so that you can rebuild and come up like that phoenix. Yeah? It wants you to do that for your relationships. And it's not just love relationships, it's all relationships. Business, clients, all these things. And I think the feeling I get is more about deepening these, making them more intimate. Yeah? It's maybe if you're used to like doing group teaching, you maybe do one-to-one with your clients. Could be that sort of a thing, Leo, with that. But I don't know. It would really either be a few other things to see how hard this is going to hit you, but I think it's going to look back to when Pluto moved into Aquarius, which was back in December. What's been going on there? What wee themes have been cropping up around your relationships, your one-to-one relationships? You can maybe think, oh, well, I'll maybe focus there. As we come down the month, we're going to have Mercury in Aries, sextile, and Jupiter in Gemini. This is lovely. You've got that, all them beliefs, that area, your higher education. You're maybe learning something around this time that you're just getting that growth from Jupiter. Talk about it. The thing I would say is, when I used to teach marketing, and I used to do a lot of marketing for other brands, and when I was doing that, you would always learn, do, get the result, and then teach. And I think this is a good time for you to start teaching, Leo. Teaching something that you're passionate about, teaching things that you're learning and mastering around this time. Gemini for you is your 11th house, social networks. See the like here? Starting to put yourself out on social media, maybe? Sort of create a, maybe, coaching vibes, maybe? I don't know. Could be. And this is if you're thinking, if you're a coach or if you've got your own business, it'd be a good time to launch something around this time. Because you've got that direct, bold communication with Mercury, and then Jupiter wants to expand everything that it touches. The only problem with that is Jupiter in Gemini, so it could be a bit scattergun. Then in the second maybe we've got Venus in Aries making a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. So this is Venus in Aries is in the house of your beliefs, your perspectives, spiritual beliefs, cultural beliefs, and all that. And Aquarius is in your 7th house of relationships. It's a sextile. Yeah. Maybe traveling or thinking, planning. I mean, we could go maybe stay in the same country for our next holiday, or we could go further afield. That sort of a vibe I get there. Like with a partner maybe, or with somebody, maybe traveling for business. But that's good. I like it. Yeah. Mercury in Taurus. Mercury moving from Aries into your 10th house. You're supported, but you need to be slow and steady here when you're talking for your public recognition in your career. You need to think before you speak here. Yeah? So that you can come out like that strong leader who has got that stable career. Yeah? Engage all the senses as well. Taurus is very sensual. They like to get into their feels. They like to be comfortable. They like to be warm. Be warm, be kind, be generous. Let your Leo heart out. Be visible with it around this time. Then we've got the full moon in Scorpio. Now, this is probably one of the big things for this month, which is going to highlight your home and family, your roots, your inner security, and it's your public recognition in your career. Yeah, you've got the Sun and Uranus in there at the moment, and they're getting close. Yeah, there is a conjunction coming between the two of them, which Uranus is the planet of breakthroughs, shocks, surprises, sudden change, upheaval. Usually for the greater good though, for that breakthrough. So you've got that in your career, highlighting the things from home, your inner security. This could suggest that you're maybe something that you would like to keep private, maybe coming to light around this time. It could suggest that maybe work is overshadowing and there's maybe disruption in the home because of that, and maybe not got the balance at the moment, Leo, between work and home. There could be some, yeah. Thing is, with Scorpio, you want to look at things that you maybe feel that you're maybe holding on to tightly, or things that are maybe holding on to you too tightly. Yeah, could be that as well. You're going to see these things starting to show, and it's like Scorpio's all about death and rebirth as well. His modern ruler is Pluto. So there could be things around that. Are you holding on to something too tightly? Do you need to just let the grips go? Something in your own life, family, maybe just pay attention. I'm not going to go deep into the full moon in Scorpio because I'm going to do a separate video on this. I'm just looking just quickly. Mars is in Leo at the moment. This could be something maybe around you, how you're projecting yourself in your home and family. Could be something around that as well. But I will go deeper into the full moon in Scorpio in a separate video. But that is coming, and I think this is going to bring clarity for the rest of the month, or what you're trying to do this month when this is illuminated. This is the first thing, because Mercury in Taurus is going to square Pluto at this point. Where is Pluto for you? In your 7th house. Highlighting relationships. There's a tension, there's communication between your career and your relationships. Is there maybe something going on with clients around this time, Leo? It's a tricky time, yeah? There's something, is it just that you're not saying the things you want to say because you're scared it may upset somebody. You're scared that it's going to affect a relationship. So you're giving away your power by not saying what you really need to say. That is something that you could maybe look into there between your relationships and your public career, your career and your public recognition, because there is a square on that full moon. The other thing, you will feel this during the full moon as well, is, like I said, the sun is going to conjoin Uranus, but that goes exactly on the 17th of May. And this is all the things that came to light and shows you where there needs to be change. You might not understand it fully yet, but you can see that change is happening. You might get the feeling, you like that sense of something changing. And then on the 17th, Mercury is then going to square Mars and Leo. He's in your sign, the sign that rules you, how people perceive you, where you're most magnetic, your body. Mars is there bringing you that main character energy, but it could also highlight some things that need to be cut away. Mars will cut them away. And you've got this square from Mercury. Is there a communication or something that creates that little bit of disruption between your career and you? I would be looking in that. It could also be business, clients, all that stuff. There's a lot of your angles are being highlighted here, Leo. But there could be a little bit of disruption. Just remember, Uranus might feel painful at the time, but there's growth to be had from it. Yeah? There's growth to be had. Then the sun is going to make a sextile to Saturn in Pisces on the 20th of May. The sun's sextile Saturn. So the sun is in Taurus at the moment. Career, where you're shining, would be the way people see you. They see you as that loyal, stable, slow, grounded, practical person, Leo. That's the way people see you. The sun is there, illuminating that. And it's making a sextile to Saturn in Pisces, which is your 8th house. The thing is, I see this as a positive, yeah? I think you need to get the positive from it because it's a sextile, it needs to be activated. So the sun is looking at where the boundaries are in this area, yeah? Where the responsibilities, a bit like a reality check. There could be visibility wounds that you working on them can make you more visible, yeah? Kind of went off track there. There could be some money that could really power your career. You maybe need to speak to investors or something around this time. That sort of a thing. Try and stay on track, Jake. Try and stay on track. I'm a Gemini and I'm a bit like this. So I do apologise if I went off on that. I kind of lost my train of thought, but that is the basics here, yeah? The sun's illuminating, making you visible to the world. And then there's something in the 8th house that could help from Saturn, who is all about the reality, making things tangible. Time. Is there something that you've been putting a lot of time and effort into with other people and it's starting to come to light? Or is there something, a relationship that you need to deepen that could really help your growth? Then the sun will move into Gemini. Sun in Gemini is a brilliant time, yeah? It's my birthday in June. But apart from that, the sun in Gemini is fine. It's cute. Time to go out and be sociable. Be the social butterfly. Have fun. Be energetic. Be curious. Learn. Gemini wants to know the answers to everything. They're not too bothered about going deep. They just want to know that they can keep themselves still. Look, we know what we're talking about, but we don't know that deep. Once you start digging under the surface, it's not as deep as you think. Yeah? And the only thing I would say when the sun's there is just watch that we're not intellectualizing things and stuff like that. But sun in Gemini, yeah, I like that for you. That's in your 11th house, social networks, career. It's getting a wee bit of a mention. The Taurus stuff going on in there, breakthroughs could. And then your career, your social networks, your dreams, your goals, your friends. Is there something to be had there that you could have that's been illuminated for you this month? Venus trines Mars. I love this one. On the 22nd of May, Venus in Aries, which is your 9th house. This is you learning something and you're putting in the action. You're learning something, a new perspective, a new belief, a new shift in your cultural, spiritual, higher education, travel, and yourself. Yeah? You've got that. This is a time to be sociable. Go out and speak to people. Yeah. Learn from other people. It's a time for sociable. And be the main character. You're Leo. Be the main character. But Venus and Leo, with this one, I think it's your expansion. Yeah. You're going after the things that you desire. I wouldn't be surprised if there's travel involved here. Yeah. You're taking yourself on a trip to learn, to grow, to expand, that sort of a thing. Long distance. The sun is also going to sextile Neptune in Aries. So again, you've got the sun in Gemini, making that sextile, communicating, talking about the dreams that you have in that area of your life. Do you dream of going and living in a different country for a while? Is that a thing, Leo? Because if it is, then maybe talking about it on social media could be a thing. Highlighting it on social media, making it visible, that could be a thing there as well. Then on the 24th, the sun will trine Pluto. I like that one. I'm not against that one. The sun will trine Pluto. So that's the sun is now in Gemini in your 11th house. Friends, social networks, goals, desires. Pluto in your relationships. That's you're going to get expansion in air. That's going to help you. Yeah. It's lighting up this area, making things visible in this area to build stronger relationships, to be able to make them stronger. It's supportive. The sun is helping you here. It's showing you what you need to see to be able to help you get to the higher version of you in that area. When it's an Aquarius, that's being the forward thinker, being unique, being the leader. Yeah? They stand in theirs, what they believe in, they stand for it. Like I said, relationships is one-to-one relationship, doesn't necessarily mean love. Maybe being on social media here, clients, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe clients, maybe if you've got a membership or a community, it's maybe growing that community around this time with the sun being there. It could be you are becoming the leader of your community, and you're maybe spending more time with people more intimately, so that they can get to feel your energy. Then Mercury is going to co-join Uranus. So when Mercury co-joins Uranus, this is communication that leads to change, breakthrough, shock, surprises. Yeah. It could be learning something, some sort of new information, new things. At this point, I do not think that you will understand it fully. I think it'll still be a wee bit like, okay, right, we've got that information, but you can't see how these things are all playing out yet. I don't think it's that clear yet. But this is going to be between your career. This is going to be in your career, yeah? This is learning something about your career, your public recognition, the way the world sees you, that sort of a thing. You're going to be learning something there that could lead to a breakthrough. And then Mercury will move into Gemini. Mercury is the main player of this month. He's literally got some story between all three of the first sides. Yeah? There's been something that shows you there's something initiating, something you're starting to get in, slowing things down to build the foundation, and then you're starting to become a little bit more adaptable by the end of the month. And it's going to make a sextile to Saturn and Aries. Oh, who could have skipped that? Sorry. Okay, go back. Mercury co-joins Uranus, then Saturn moves into Aries. That is one of the highlights of this month. And I will do a video on this one. But Saturn moving into your 9th house. All that learning, all that structure, and all that learning. Now, it's coming from your 8th house. That makes me think that there's maybe been some investments, something where you're putting your energy, some shared relationship, some shared finances, some deepening of relationships that have been going on over the last 2 years. Maybe some things you've lost. Maybe, I don't know, could be. But then it's moving into your 9th house. So all that stuff that's maybe hurt you, maybe there's been some pain there you've had to grow from. Well, now you're going into the 9th house to do the learning, to learn, to grow through expansion. Yeah? Saturn, when he goes into a new sign, likes to make a little bit of an entrance, brings things down to reality. Get your head out of the clouds sort of thing. And you might feel like that. You might feel like that. But I think the sun is going to sextile Saturn when he's in Pisces. And then, this is, I don't know, I'm sure I said that, the sun's sextile. If I've not, it's going to sextile the sun. Sun's going to sextile Saturn in Pisces on the 20th. And then, when Saturn moves into Aries, I think that's kind of softening the blow. That's the kind of feeling I get. It's you're like taking the action on whatever needs to be pulled together in that 8th house for Saturn to move into Aries. And then you're doing the work in your 9th house before that, and then Saturn moves there, brings things down to reality. You've got Neptune, who's maybe wanting you to think really, really big. And Saturn's like, you need to do your freaking work here if you want this. Mercury goes into Gemini, sextile Saturn and Aries. So when I spoke about Mercury going into Gemini, didn't I? This Gemini. Mercury sextile Saturn and Aries. This is, again, supportive energy. Communication from your career. Learning information about your career that is helping you. I'm going to learn something. Whatever you're learning, if you get that information, like, oh, it's something to do with your career or business, whatever. Get something, sort of information that you're thinking, I need to learn about that. You go and do the education. That's using Saturn, yeah? That's using the energy of Saturn. You're learning, you're making it tangible so you can get to growth. Then Mercury is going to sextile Neptune on the 26th, which again, is not going after the little surface level things here. It's the big things, the eye in the sky sort of things, high in the sky sort of things you're going after here. And that is from the communication that's coming from your career, something that there's a lot of career. I say career, it's public recognition. There could be like you getting seen, getting noticed, all that sort of stuff around this time because of what you're learning. Then we have the new moon in Gemini on the 26th. I like this. Gemini's fun. Gemini's curious. Gemini wants to learn, which you seem to be doing a lot of learning yourself right now, Leo. Or even if you're not started, it seems like that could be the flavor of the month. So I'm not against this. I think for you as well with that. What I would say with this, new moon, set intentions. What do you want this area of your life to look like? So Gemini for you is in your 11th house. That's your social networks. That's your groups. That's your friends, your communities, your wider communities, yeah? The causes you stand for, your goals. What do you want that to look like in 6 months? That area of your life. Start to set them intentions now. Communicate them. Talk about them on social media. Talk about them with your friends. Talk about your desires, your goals, your dreams. Talk about them. Make them real. And then on the 27th, Mercury will trine Pluto. Now, this is all working up to this Kazemi that I was talking about, right? So Mercury is going to then trine Pluto. Again, something in relationships. It's supportive this time, though. There's communication, information from your career and your relationships. I don't think this is a love. I don't get love vibes from this. I don't. Even though I think this is money, career, growing in your career, growing your business. I get them kind of vibes. Clients, I get business partners, that sort of stuff in your 7th house. I am getting, this might not be resonating with everybody, but that's what I can sort of the feeling I get from this. And then Sun is going to co-join Mercury. This is the point where I'm like, this is where I get this. You're going to be like, that's what I need to do. I know it now. This is why things weren't clicking before. This is the clarity I have been looking for about 6 months. That's the kind of information that I think you're going to get. I think it's just going to all start to make sense on the end of, at the end of, what May, at the end of May. For you, Jupiter is moving into Cancer. That's your 12th house. That's your dreams again. That's your subconscious, your perspectives, your things that are usually hidden. Jupiter's going to be making it there. So it's like bringing your dreams, making them bigger, making them more exciting. And then you've got Saturn, like there as well, being able to, and stuff going on in your career. Like this is a good time for you, Leo. But you need to do the inner work. the inner work's important for your year, especially when Jupiter moves into Gemini. Jupiter moves into Cancer. Okay, let's break this down for you week by week with the tarot card. I'll move quite quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but we'll move through it the week by week, see what we can get, get a deeper picture of what's going on in the month of May. See what we can get from it. Yeah? Now, these cards are already shuffled, so let's see, Leo. Week 1. Okay, Leo, there's some sort of friendship or something nice, like something nice. It's something you maybe feeling a little bit nostalgic about. You're maybe like, oh, I remember the way we used to do things. That sort of a feeling I get from this card. Coming up on week 1, it's maybe making you feel like you need the strength from somewhere. But you've got it. This is a Leo card. So you've got the energy to be able to tame the beast here, yeah? You've got infinite energy. You've got that strength. You need to remember that. And whatever you're looking back at here could be something around the Pluto Aquarius stuff, around your relationships. Yeah, you maybe need to find your strength there, and your inner power for that, so you're able to tame the beast, whatever that is, and like tame the lion. It might be you need to tame yourself. Like we've got a lot of stuff with Scorpio energy where it's maybe you've got control, something maybe in your family, your own life. There's could be a chance of some sort of like, I think this is sort of building up to this full moon, yeah? And the 7 Swords is not a nice one to pull, yes? Betrayal, deceit, not the best, yeah? You maybe need to think before you act on this one. I'm trying to think what's going on around there. You've got the looking back at stuff, the stuff in your house, stuff with relationships. But things look positive. Like there's a few, there's positive aspects to be had, yeah? You need to have a strategy of how you're going to approach that, yeah? With this card. The first week may be a wee bit rocky. Okay. Okay. It's making even more sense. I think something's going south here, yeah? I think this is where you need to remember you need the strength. You're maybe finding out some information about something that wasn't the greatest. You're learning information that wasn't the greatest. The 5 Cups is all about looking at what you've lost, but you're missing what's already there, Leo. What's going on here, Leo? What are you grieving? What are you missing? What are you longing for? Is it you're looking back at the way something used to be, but now you're like, I need, something's happening. There's the 3 Swords coming up here as well, which is like emotional pain. It's like that pain in the heart from information. Yeah? It's the Swords, it's the mental suit. Are you giving yourself this mental pain? No. Here's the Heartbreak card. Yeah? Has something coming to an end? This is coming up to the full moon. Things could be shown this week that do bring things to an end. That is the culmination point. And with the Strength card coming up, it is maybe time for that. It could also be the end. It doesn't necessarily mean the end of the physical relationship. It's the mental suit. It could be something that you need to switch in your brain that has been causing the pain. Whereas when you see it from a different angle, the pain's not as hard, or you start to see things from other perspectives. There was a lot of that going on. There's a lot of 9th house activations for you. The best way to approach this is the Queen of Pentacles. She's sitting there on her throne. She's got the stable foundation. She's stable. You're Leo. You're the natural born leader. This is a time to receive. Yeah? Just be. It's not time to be going out and doing major things, Leo. Not at this point. Not at this point in the month. I feel like it's a little bit rocky. Yeah? Something's rocky. I don't know what that, I will get you some clarity on that Three of Swords. Week 3. Leo, we're starting off with the Queen of Wands. That's good. Creative spark. That's you getting the ideas, the creativity, the passion back again. Your spark. I wonder if this is you longing or something that you've lost rather than it being an ending. That's what I'm getting now, is longing for something that has been heartbreaking. With the Five of Cups, you're grieving this. Maybe it's happened before. Maybe it's at the end of April. You're telling you to have the strength. We're looking back at the fond memories. Then we need clarity on this one. I'm not sure how that ties in. There's a lot of career stuff though. Maybe it's just making sure you've got a strategy. You're not just going head first into things. Well, then you're longing whatever's been lost. Just stay strong, stay stable. You're getting a creative inspiration, creative spark. And you need to remember that you are that leader. Yeah? You're not rushing in and like doing all that stuff, going hustle, hustle, hustle. You're going in there, you're calm, you're collected, you're entered your soft era. You're like, yeah, I've got this, we're good. And it's about mastering your craft here. But there's a lot of night house stuff, learning coming on. And that third week, after the full moon, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. There's a lot of breakthroughs to be had through mastering your craft. The thing is, I think there's a chance you might get stuck in your head here. There's a chance you might get stuck in your head. You might trap yourself. You might feel like the victim. But just remember, all this is happening for you. I don't know what the situation is the heartbreak and the emotional pain and the things you're grieving. I don't know what that is. But there's supportive energy around that you can tap into. Yeah? The thing with the 8 swords is it's only she's blindfolded and tied to the swords. Yeah? But her feet can walk away at any time. She can untie herself and go. Yeah? Don't trap yourself with this one. Right, let's see. Ends on a high. Come on, Leo. Okay, Leo, so I think there's going to be some challenges throughout this month. Yeah? There's going to be some challenges. But there is curiosity, there is like that spark is still there. There's you are being curious. But then you've got the 6 wands. You've got the 6 wands I like, yeah? The 6 wands I like for you. That was, I remember seeing something like this. Where was it? What I said. There's something to do with, and I remember saying to you, something might come out that makes you visible, or something around visibility. The stuff I was saying about visibility in your 8th house, things becoming public, the 6 wands could suggest that, but it's going to lead you to get curious and want to learn and want to. So I think that's not a bad thing when I see this 6 wands come out. But then I see the 5 swords, which is back in your head again, which is you getting back stuck, challenging thoughts, challenging information, conflict. Which I'm not sure about. I need to get some clarity. I need to get some clarity. This is week 4. I'm not sure about. I'll get you some clarity. Because the thing is, when things come to light and stuff like that, you can do the work, yeah? I don't know what you've lost in April, yeah? If there's been somebody or something that you've lost. So this is for the 5 swords. I think you've been going through the ringer. Yeah, I think you've been going through the ringer, Leo. Yeah. The best way to approach this is like the Queen of Swords, the King of Pentacles. He's so grounded, he's so practical. They don't want to go wild or crazy or anything. This whole month, just remember, these are the two cards. Decisive action, yeah? Take aligned action. And then just be. Let your mind calm. Like, be. The thing is, when you're acting out of fear, you don't make the best decisions. When you're calm, when you're cool, when you're collected, she can make any decision she needs to, because she's got her mind in the right place. She receives the information, she can make the decision. He's got it. He's like so grounded, he's so practical, he's not like, he's got everything he needs. And having that steady, steadfast approach this month is going to be a good one for you, Leo. It's going to be a good way for you to approach this month. There's a few challenges, granted, but just approach it like the Queen and the King. You take aligned action, you're not doing crazy stuff, yeah? You're taking aligned action. You're being receptive. You're doing the inner work. You're doing the stuff in your head to stay clear so you can you're not making decisions out of fear. You're not making them decisions out of, I do get career vibes here. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on in your public recognition. I think you need to lighten the load. Where did I see the 10? Was it the 9? The 9, the Wounded Warrior. That's what it was. That's where the Wounded Warrior. I think you're sore, but you're strong enough to do this. You need to lighten the load, the mental load. Don't do too much. I think that's the real thing. Really embracing your feminine energy. You've got the Wands, the Swords, the Pentacles. The only one you've not got is the Cups, which makes me think is not emotional. But that's definitely heart pain. So just embrace the King and the Queen. Embrace the King and the Queen, Leo. Let me know what you've got going on, Leo, in the comments. And hopefully it will play out. Hopefully, I mean, you can work with this energy. Work with it. If we want a little bit of clarity, remember I've got private readings that you can book in for. So I've got some for May if you want to come and speak. We'll go deeper into your chart. Come and see me. Come and see me. But yeah, all of this energy you can work with. The thing for you is don't get stuck in your head. Don't get stuck in your head, Leo. Leo, whatever's going on, I hope you have a good month and you stay with the King and Queens, yeah? You're not acting from fear. You're staying strong. You're choosing things.